Okay, so I was speaking to my mother, and again, this is what bothers me. And as a TI, it should bother all of us, okay? When we speak to family members, and then they want us to forget about what is being done to us, right? Because it's not like it stops. It doesn't stop, right? So how can you forget about something that when you're continually every single day being traumatized, right? How can you forget about that? It's like saying to a person that's beating you up, I'm sorry, it's like saying to the victim of bullying to forget about the bullies when every single day the bully is beating them up. I mean, do you understand that logic? Because I don't. You know, I don't. Do you tell the victim of an assault to forget about it? The victim of rape to forget about it? The victim of whatever trauma, negative trauma that's happening to them to forget about it? So when your family is telling you to forget about these things, when there's no way you can forget about it because it happens every single day, there is a big disconnect here. A huge disconnect. Okay? A huge disconnect. Right? And again, if you look up Coercive Persuasion Program, if you look up Doc NLP, right? And I would recommend everyone go and read this book called Mind Control Language Pattern. Let me look. Right? Mind Control Language Pattern by Dante Line Jones. Okay? And in there he talks about these dark patterns. And in there he says, right, mind control language patterns are spoken phrases that can act as triggers to the people who hear them. In short, they influence and control how we respond and cause us to be influenced to do things without our knowing. Without our knowing. Okay? Then he talks about how, these dark and destructive language patterns, they are devious because most people don't even know they're happening or have happened. They live life half-heartedly with no purpose because someone meant to hurt them. Right? I'm not making this up. Okay? The thing about this book is that he shows you these patterns so that you can recognize them. That is how I'm able, particularly with what's been happening, particularly with me and Pam, right? And I know I keep bringing Pam up, and they're going to try to use this as saying, oh, he's obsessed over her or what have you. And I'm not obsessed over Pam, okay? I love Pam. I loved Pam. But after yesterday, when she did, I realized that, it's not worth my sanity, to continue on with this, and with her trying to accuse me of being controlling and manipulative. I said, how am I controlling and manipulative? I don't tell you where to go. I don't tell you what to do. I don't tell you where to see. All I said to you is this, okay? If during the week when I'm watching the kids, for you, that if you have any activities after work with your male friends, that you get a babysitter who can come and relieve me so I can go home. And you don't have to worry about calling me to let me know that you're on your way home. You don't have to do that. If that's not something that you want to do when you're with your male friends, then it just shows me that you have something to hide. Okay, that even now that when we're not in a relationship, you still continue to hide things and lie. Right? So you haven't even made any changes to say, you know what, I did this and it broke the trust that Nigel had in me. Let me make an effort to regain that trust. She has not done any of those things. None. Okay? She says, I'm going to go work on myself and get a therapist. She's been saying that for 2 years now. It hasn't happened. Okay? I see a therapist, and I also have conversation with relationship expert in terms of trying to, you know, deal with the issue of my targeting and me, you know, how I interact with the people out there, you know, and document it in a professional setting, right? As well as, you know, reading, studying psychology, and, you know, going to school too, right? Going to school too. Also taking care of the kids in this time, homeschooling, you know, on top of that, herniated disc, right? 2-pinch nerve. There are times when I have to, you know, homeschool the kids when I'm in pain. And then she's upset with me because I don't take the kids out as regular. Well, I'm here with the kids all the time. My daughter is 6. I have to play with her all the time. And I'm tired. You know, you go to work, she goes to work 9 to 5. She gets up late, go to work late, comes home late, and then wants to go to sleep, eat, right? I have to cook, she eats, go in her bed, go to sleep. Sometimes she even take a shower after working in the hospital with COVID-19. Okay? Takes off her clothes, throw it on the floor, you know, instead of putting it in the hamper or putting it in the washing machine. And I have to constantly remind her these things. And I don't mind, you know, reminding her, because that's what you do when, you know, when you have a partnership. But, you know, again, it's not a partnership because we're not in a relationship now. But it's a partnership in terms of being there for the kids, what have you. But still, as a man, you know, me being a man, that I'm not gonna let you disrespect me. I'm not gonna let you have me here cleaning, cooking, clean. I mean, even if you were a woman, right, and your ex is doing this to you, have you at his house, cooking, cleaning, what have you. Matter of fact, you wouldn't even be there. Okay. The only reason why I'm here again is because of the kids, and I can't bring them to my house because of the COVID situation. And you know, people keep coming in and out of my house, which I don't understand, because I've told my sister, I said, listen, you know, you can't have people coming in and out of here because you don't know where they've been. You have a child in the house, okay? And I understand that, you know, yeah, you may need somebody to come and watch them, watch, you know, watch the kid, the child. I understand that, you know, get one person that you can rely on, okay? But anyway, and I said to her, I even said to Pam this morning, I said, listen to me, you know, if a man wants to do to you what you've done to me, you wouldn't even give that man the time of day. You wouldn't even stick around. You would have been gone. Okay? And she said nothing because she can't say anything, because it's the truth. But yet she expects me to be here because I guess I'm a man. You know, and this is the way some women think, right? Some women think because, you know, whatever trauma they have or dealing with, whatever, you know, and like I said, you know, a lot of times me and her getting into argument in the past was because of my targeting. And she couldn't even understand that. Now we don't get into argument because of my targeting, because I've kind of put that under control and, you know, shift my focus a little bit more onto, you know, other things. But now we're arguing because, you know, she's just being deceitful and lying to me when she doesn't have to be. I said, look, you can date whoever you want to date to. We're not in a relationship. But when I'm here watching the kids, if I stay overnight, okay, to help you out, okay, don't think that you're going to be going out with your so-called male friends and doing whatever while I'm here. No. You can get a babysitter. Hey, Nigel, babysitter's coming to relieve you. You can go home. You know, that's fine. I wouldn't, you know, that's fine. We've agreed on this and we said this. But yet she continues to do the opposite, trying to take me for a fool. And I'm not going for that anymore. You know, she may think because I'm a targeted individual, and the fact that a lot of us are led into isolation and the destruction of our relationship, and whether it be family relationship, significant others, what have you, you know, in terms of, and then, you know, in which most TIs end up becoming isolated because this is what they want. And so when they try to, then when they isolate you, right, they will do shit like what they tried to do to me this morning with my sister calling me saying I left the stove on or what have you, and, you know, they're going to call 911 or have you, right? So, again, so you're telling me, I just spoke to her too because she finally answered her phone. And I said to her, listen, I didn't leave the stove on. Okay? And then she's like, well, you know, no one is, of course they're not going to own up to it. When have they ever owned up to anything? Okay? When they destroyed my property, they broke my computer chair, you know, no one came and said, hey, Nigel, you know, I was rocking on your computer chair and it broke, you know, here's the money, you know, or at least half the money to help you buy back another one. They haven't done that. You know, they ruined my fan, right? My fan that I bought, right? They ruined my fan. And no one said anything until I have to go ask and inquire. Okay, and again, no one come to me and says, hey, you know what, we're sorry, here's some money to, help to replace the new fan. Or at least let me try to fix it. Or ask us, even matter of fact, just come to me and say, hey, this is what happened to the fan. And so I would understand that. I would be like, okay, whatever. But the fact that you did not say anything, and this is what happens, when you're a TI going through this stuff. People don't want to talk to you. They don't want to tell you anything. But for whatever reason, they can't talk to you. They can't say nothing. Okay? So this is what has been going on. This is what has been happening. Right? And again, like I said, as TI, document everything, particularly when they start to target you in a very heavy-handed manner. Document every single thing. It doesn't matter if they want to say that you're crazy. It doesn't matter. Okay? Because we know this is something that the state has done and will continue to do and have done in the past. And like I give examples, right, of those within government who are whistleblowers, who all of a sudden, are being labeled with mental illness. Police officers, who's complaining about racism, right? They try to label them with a mental illness. So this is something that they do all the time, right? But why aren't we understanding that? Because again, they have the majority of us under mind control and manipulation. The technology that they've developed for this is well put into play. Okay, for decades. Yes, decades. Okay, and you can go onto the CIA own website. Now, they may not have unclassified documents about American development in those fields, but there's plenty of information on there on what Russia was doing. And if Russia's doing it, so is the US. Okay? Because there's no way that the US is going to let Russia be in control or take the front role in developing these type of technology when they know that it could be used against Americans. And they already experienced that. Right? In the 60s and 70s, US Embassy in Russia. A couple of years ago, in Cuba and China. Right? And then they deny that these weapons exist. But yet, there's documentation that says that they have sent for the inventor of one of these technologies to try to use it in 1992 against David Koresh and the Branch Davidian. This is unclassified documents, right? That they've unclassified, that talks about these things. So why do we not take this seriously? And then you want to tell me that I'm crazy. Okay. You know what? I'll continue to be crazy. If speaking the truth and exposing these things labeled me as crazy, go ahead and do that. That's fine. Hopefully, there's enough of you out there who are independent thinkers, right? Who are not afraid of the truth, right? Because those who are afraid of the truth is going to find themselves in total, absolute slavery. And they're going to be happy about it. Very, very happy about it. Okay? Let me. This is something that I had posted on Facebook, and I want to share it with you guys. I think I'm not sure if I've put this on video, but I want to show you guys something. Okay? I can flip the screen. Okay. So, again, this is from the CIA website. You can see here, CIA.gov, library, reading room docs. Okay? And I'm going to read this, and you guys can see it. Extract. It would be tempting to turn psychological weapons against one's own people and make millions of them forget about discontent with the system of social inequality, about the struggle for peace, and about their civil rights. So what has been happening to us as a people, particularly us black people? What has been happening? This is exactly what has been happening. Okay? Oppressed but joyful. Fleeced by monopolies but content with everything. Wouldn't this be the ideal citizen from the point of view of the ruling circles in countries of the West? This what This what newspaper of ours wrote quite recently about MK Ultra. This is again, and this is a old document, right? An ultra secret program of American intelligence, which was aimed at turning people into zombies in masses. But we now know that we ourselves have not escaped such brainwashing. And this is from the Russian side. Okay? Stories about design brews, a rich instrument, have been developed for producing long distance effects on the human mind have begun to appear in the press. Among the mail that we receive from our readers have been a trickle of letters which mention individual brainwashing by mysterious psychological weapons. Okay? By mysterious psychological weapons. Vladimir Nikitovich Volchenko is a professor at the Moscow State Technical Universities in Benini, Buman, and deputy chairman of the USSR Union of Scientific and Engineering Society Committee on Bioenergy Information Processing, right? He took part in preparing materials on the question of protecting citizens against psychological terror for the RSFSR Supreme Soviet. Okay? For such cases to become fewer, people must first be rescued from psychological terror, which is now occurring, says Vivachenkos. The term psychological terror refers to a factor which adversely affects human consciousness. Politics and ideology are not the only ones which should be mentioned. Among the rest are hypnosis shows at stadiums and on television. After the trailblazer psychotherapist A. Kapirikowski came hundreds of his followers who have been given similar performance. The trouble is not even that many of these therapists are elementary acquisitor who are out to make easy money in a hurry. This is a topic for a separate conversation. The danger lies where else? Mass sessions of this kind have a substantial impact on the hypnobility of millions of televiewers. The sessions heightens it, and this means that the viewer stands a greater chance of being turned into a zombie. And when they say zombie, meaning that, it's a mindless slave, right? Okay? So, again, these documents are available online that you can go look. So, like I said, I'm not making this stuff up. Right? I am not. Okay? And it would be wise for those of you watching these videos who are not target individuals to understand what's going on. Okay? And I'm going to do my part in making sure that this stuff gets exposed. So whether you want to call me crazy or not, that's your business. And if the society want to go along with it, if your family want to go along with it, if your significant other want to go along with it, that's on them. Okay? That's on them. But do not lose your self-respect, your self-worth. Okay? Because, I did that for the sake of my kids. Okay? And you'll find that when people take your kindness for weakness, it just shows who they are, not who you are. Okay?